I've been focusing on positive affirmations, and I'm a little nervous about doing the unhappy journal.
Right.
And going back to that because
Good. That's
I'm
good.
real nervous about that.
Okay, guys, I do understand. And some people say, well, Robert, you're a little bit negative in this class. I mean, going back to the past where the pain is scary. And that's what I want to help you understand. I understand it's scary. But this is the most powerful part about this seminar. Because what you have within you, the hurtful memories, the painful memories, the bad events, what you have inside you, you attract. What you have inside you, you're going to experience it again. Here's a good thing to write down. Memories buried alive never die. They just show up in another pair of shoes. Did you hear me? Now, I understand the fear of writing the list, but what we're going to do to that list, we're going to totally change it completely. It will never have that power over you again. Memories buried alive never die. They just show up in another pair of shoes. What does buried alive mean? That means when you go back to that memory, you feel the emotions of whatever happened. Now here's something I want you to be aware of. First of all, it's not real anymore. It's over. It doesn't exist. Secondly, it's already in you. It's yours. You own it. And the third part is, once you identify it and you go there and release it, it will never bother you again. That's what we're doing. That's the only way you're ever going to make a transformation. Guys, I have heard and done, you know, they'd go to this therapist or they go to this meeting with, they're going to heal themselves. And so what they do is they write this list of bad events happen, and they would put it on a fire and they would burn away. Or they would put it in a balloon and they'd let go of the balloon. Or they would talk about it. And they would just talk about it. And I've had many people say, I went to a therapist and I felt like I committed suicide after I left. I felt worse when I got there. I felt worse leaving than when I got there. All right? And there was a lady who came to see me and she went through this giant vagina. And she felt this rebirthing therapy. They go through this giant vagina and they fall in the swimming pool. It's rebirthing therapy. Guys, what they would do is they would have, I mean, this is true. They would have you imagine, I went to this class and they were sitting in this, and we was all sitting around, and this guy was yelling at the chair where his father or mother was sitting at, and he would yell at this chair, and then he would get this pillow and beat the crap out of this chair. I mean, this chair abuse somehow. And you know, and they would say, well, what does your father say? And everybody would look over to this empty chair. There's nobody there. Guys, the only way you're going to make a change is that you go inside where the pain is and release the memory completely. It doesn't matter if you burn it up. Doesn't matter if you smoke it up. Doesn't matter if you try to eat it up. You try to work it out. Doesn't matter if you beat chairs up. Doesn't matter if you burn stuff. Whatever it is, if you don't make the internal shift, it will still be there. The only way you're going to make the change is you go there, feel it for the last time, and release it.
That's assuming that we have memory of the event. What about when we have trauma that's pretty deep-seated and we've really buried so much of it that we can't access it anymore? My parents were both way out there. And they've also both been deceased for over 30 years. And in that time, well, I really just, I don't know when I actually buried my childhood, but I really remember so very little of it. And so what do we do?
That's an excellent question, because with myself, I only have a few memories. Most of my childhood is gone. I don't remember it. I really don't. But here's the amazing part about that with you and I, and some of you also, it always shows up in a different way. If you get upset about George Bush, now I want you to think about it. That's really you, not George. All right. If you're watching TV, or if In-Laws and Outlaws is a great place to find it. All you do is you look for whatever pushes your buttons. That's how you heal it. And I've worked with a lot of people who memories appeared. I mean, they just showed up, and you know what we did? We addressed it, and it has no power anymore. So if you get to that point, if you feel the fear, whatever that fear is, identify it. Just feel it and release the fear. That is truly the key. Guys, I mean, we know that the past is over. And see, like with inside myself, I had like a big black spot right there inside me. And it was a part of my past. I didn't know what it was, and I was afraid to even look at it. But it was just like a spot inside me. And you know what I did? I just identified it. I didn't know what it represented, and I said, just let it go, just let it go, just let it go. And I kept going back to it. And it was so big, I didn't know what it meant. It was just the black spot. It was the pain that I couldn't deal with. And I just kept tapping on it. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what it represented. But you know what? It's gone. That's the cool part. And I want to show you how to do this. And since, in the past, we did not have the skills to go there. Because if you went there, what would you do with it? Cry, feel horrible, be scared, be tormented. What? Try to run away, try to avoid it. And then recreate it. Yeah. And so this technique that you're going to learn in the seminar will give you that ability to change it. If you have issues, I mean, the greatest place to find your issues is family reunions. And I'm serious. Take your notebook, write down whatever in the world it is that they did that triggered you. That's yours. And that's how you do it. If you don't have conscious memory of whatever it is, just find where the issue is. Look where you're trying to run from. One of my biggest issues was dancing. I mean, that was just, I wanted to conquer this, And so I just use the tapping, break that fear, and just go do it. Take lessons, I mean, to me, that's a big deal. And I still have little triggers. And I've been working on myself since '99 with the tapping process. And I still have some. I mean, I have definitely changed tremendously from what I used to be. But you will never, ever stop tapping. You'll do it for the rest of your life. While you're laying on your deathbed, you're going to mentally or physically tap. Let it go, let it go, let it go, let it go. Yeah, this tapping is not something you try today. Well, you can try it today. You can use it. But I will tell you this. This will change your life. This semester, this seminar. And it works as you apply it. But the moment you stop using it, events do happen in your life. You'll always have something show up in your life that trigger you. You'll always have something to stir up something in you. Well, you'll always tap. You'll always have something. If you don't continue tapping for the rest of your life, what you will do is you'll go back to the old program of feeling miserable. You'll go back to that same program that you've became an expert at. You perfected. I mean, you can feel depressed, whatever, or feel whatever, because you've been practicing for all these years. No one gave you that skill to let it go. That's why it's so important. If you interact with children, guys, it's great to teach them this skill. Have them do it now when they're 7 years old or 5 years old or 13 years old or 20 years old, because they will not build your problems. You know what I'm saying? Your parents didn't know how to let it go. They taught you how to cope with it, and you're just playing the role. And you've already passed. If you have children, you've already started passing it. You already have. They already have your program, because you can only give them what you have inside you. You can't give them anything different. So today's the day to make the decision to change what you have inside. That's the only thing you can do, is change you right now. And you will have that impact on children. What we're doing is we're going back to the past. Well, we did that with you, Carol. Do you remember that? Mm-hmm. We went back to the memory, and that used to have this horrible feeling in it. We go back and we tap out the emotions. And then as you tap it out, the memory naturally starts to change. When we get it down to neutral, we'll grab a good feeling from another memory, send it into the other memory, the one that we just tapped down, and restructure it completely. Because what is real right now? Your past doesn't exist, and everything in your mind is created.